another way of thinking about it is the church is this terrestrial space that takes people out of the world, prepares them for the temple. The temple points them to the celestial glory, to the celestial kingdom. And by fulfilling and living those covenants, right, we prepare to live in the presence of God for eternity. So the church is important.
Well, and this goes to something we harp on quite a bit, where the church is preparing us, and we see this ultimately culminating in the temple, where it's like, how do I enter the presence of God? Well, in a simplistic explanation, where does God live? In the celestial. He's a celestial glorified being. Okay, how do I get there? Well, the church is giving you the tools, it's giving you the mechanisms to open the gate to get there, right? But clearly the church is saying, this is not the celestial. We are seeking to enter the celestial, right? And so that's what the truth the church is giving is truth that prepares you to enter the celestial. And so it's critically important. But this goes to our bigger, our deeper philosophy, and something we just consistently try to drive home to people is that going to the temple and making covenants in the temple and returning to the temple and doing work, proxy work for ancestors is super important. But if you're not really pondering, truly considering the covenants you're entering into and the power you're obtaining through those covenants, and then not seeking guidance on how do I better apply and more perfectly apply those covenants into my life, then you're not really moving beyond the terrestrial. You can only move beyond the terrestrial and kind of into the presence of the Lord. You can only really enter that celestial state of being as you genuinely, honestly, and with real intent seek to apply the power granted through the covenants made and entered into in the temple. Like, that's what we need to be seeking. But too often we kind of sit back on our laurels and say, I've gone to the temple, I made these covenants, I've entered into them, so now I'll focus on everything else going on in life, and we're totally missing the point. Like, no, now that you've entered those covenants, you need to apply them and apply that power into your life. And as you do that, now you're truly starting to enter the presence of the Lord. And that's, that takes a lot of effort and a lot of prayerful consideration and real thought. And as part of the temple series we're trying to help people kind of understand and deepen their conversion, their desire, and their ability to really kind of apply the ordinances they enter into their day-to-day life, to really feel the power of those covenants and take advantage of them. But it is something that is possible and that we've got to consciously be seeking after. And as you do it, you do start to feel that, kind of that presence of the Lord getting stronger and getting closer to you and kind of being prepared to enter a celestial state of being. Hit that like button, leave us a comment, subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it.
They may seem like little things, but liking, commenting, it helps the algorithm push our content out to more people. So it's our small way of sharing the gospel in a social media age.